Welcome guys, and today's video is one in a series of videos that will talk about ethical theories. Philosophers over the years have made several propositions, have disagreed, have made consensus, have agreed somewhere, and they've had very interesting perspective of what the subject of morality should be about and what really constitutes an ethical decision. So today's video is interrogating and delving into some of these philosophical propositions, and we're hoping that you have a broad-based view of what philosophers have said over the years. But once again, that doesn't mean that philosophers aren't still arguing about what morality and what ethical framework should be. So one of the first philosophers who made a proposition was Plato, who made a proposition that the idea of morality and the idea of ethics should be based on best reasons and best intent. So once you have the good reasons, you have best reasons for an action, and you have the best intent for that action, then your action is morally justified. And for Plato, he posits that knowledge of the world, knowledge is what furnishes us with good intent. So you cannot just assume that you have a good intent if you don't know. You should know as a matter of fact that you have a good intent, and your intent is influenced or informed by knowledge. And so a real understanding of the issues will be very important for you to have a decision based on good intent and good reasons. And so good reasons and intents are functions of knowledge. That's what Plato says. Aristotle, who was a pupil of Plato and also a teacher of Alexander the Great, also has an interesting proposition of what ethics and morality should be. For him, he thinks that ethics and morality is an art of good living or living well. For him, he posits a world of eudaimonia. For him, eudaimonia means that a world of happiness and good living. He thinks that nobody wishes evil inherently. Nobody wishes evil. And so the existence of evil and wrong is just an unforeseen contingency of good living or good intentions. And so for him, once you perform an action that brings inherent happiness, that projects good living, then it is justified. So individuals should aspire to know the art of living well, the art of creating an ambience or a world that will approximate towards happiness. And so once there is happiness in the world, once humans are inherently approximated towards pursuance of happiness, once humans love happiness, any action by you that will make people happy, that will make yourself happy, is one that is moral. And so for him, it was a world of happiness being the center of any ethical or moral discussion. That's Aristotle on those particular issues. Now, another philosopher was Epicurus. For him, he thinks that what constitutes morality is about what is pleasing and more desired by a lot of people, what is loved by a lot of people, what is most liked and what is pleasing, that constitutes morality. So once your action pleases a lot of people, it pleases yourself, it pleases a lot of people, and it is liked by a lot of people, then it's one that obviously is going to make everybody happy. It's one that's going to make everybody comfortable. And so that is a moral decision. And so in making decisions, you should always focus on which of your decisions is going to make people happy, which of your decisions are people going to like, and which of your decisions is going to be more pleasing and appealing. For him, Epicurus, that is the right moral decision to make. Thomas Hobbes, who was an English philosopher and a historical materialist, also posits an ethical philosophy that bases on self-preservation. For him, he thinks that he makes a comparative between the state of nature and organized society, because human beings are inherently self-interested in preserving their existence and perpetuation. What it means that we would always look for means that keeps us existing in the freest state in the first place. So in the state of nature or the jungle, where there are no rules, like in the animal kingdom, where the survival of the fittest is really what matters, there is lawlessness, there is chaos, and human beings are not safe. And so humans approximate towards a world of safety in order to preserve ourselves. That means that for the foundation of organized society and establishment of organized society, what we do is that we establish rules, and these rules are ethical codes, and these ethical codes specify behavior, enforces narratives, and make sure that we know what should be done from what should not be done in the quest of preserving the basis of that organized society, which is human safety and self-preservation. By this, we introduce ethics in order to regulate human behavior to preserve and sustain our own selves. So for him, any action that is geared towards human preservation, self-preservation, and in the interest of human safety and collectivist interest is what constitutes morality. That's Thomas Hobbes. David Hume, on the other extent, thinks that any assessment of morality or ethics based on rationality doesn't really sound good to him. For him, he doesn't think that reasons are the best things to consider when making a moral decision. He thinks that a theory of emotivism is really important. By emotivism, he means that feelings, sentiments, and intuitions should be the guiding frameworks of your decision. So once the action pleases you, once you have a feeling that this is the right thing to do, once inherently your intuitions tell you that this is the right thing to do, once your sentiments is geared towards that particular action, based on that feeling and impression that is inherently in you, then that action is justified and is the right thing to do. He doesn't think that reasons should be the center of focus in you making an ethical decision. He thinks your feeling matters. He thinks your emotion matters. He thinks your sentiment matters. And for him, placing reasons above feelings, sentiments, and emotions is an enslavement of our sentiments and feelings. That's why he projects a principle of emotivism. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this discussion, and we'll continue the rest of the philosophical theories on ethics and morality in the subsequent video. But before then, like we always do, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done, share this video and like it. Thank you very much, and we'll meet again.